have been doing Carnaval since 1982. And I'm a founder of Aquarela, and also was a co-founder of Sambão dance group. And what else? And I was a queen 1995. It was a great time. And then I ended up getting in my group like 5 queens and 2 or 3 queens. And I'm proud of that. And I'm very proud of Aquarela because we try to bring the Brazil culture to the Mission District.
Boa tarde, meu nome é Silvana Souza, mais conhecida, more known, a.k.a. as Neguinha Sambista. Eu participo do Carnaval São Francisco since 1990. And I am one of the San Francisco Carnival Queen as well. And I got crowned by Maria Souza. I won right after her year passed by. And I've been doing Carnival since 1990.
Dominique, now Camargo. I got married last year. So I started doing, I started parading at San Francisco Carnival maybe 12 years ago. So I'm 30 years old now. My first carnival was when I was still in high school, and I paraded with another group.
Hello, I'm Molly. I started parading, I guess, in kindergarten or first grade. I can't remember, with Buena Vista. And one of those years we did win #1 in the parade.
Wow.
I know, we were the universe themed. I don't know what year that was. Maybe 92, 93, I'm not sure. So I did elementary school with the Eastern Carnival, and then I did some years also with James Lick. And then I guess I took a break and just watched the parade and was like, oh, wow, there's so many different things in this parade. I had no idea because I've never watched it. And then at some point I started, I guess 2009, I think I started dancing with Aquarela after taking Sylvana's dance for many years and joining them with the Carnival Ball. And so that was, I guess, 11 years ago.
When I decided to put the group together, my vision was to have girls who do the real samba and represent the Brazilian culture and represent the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. So, and then I said, well, I'm gonna get the best dancers I can find so I can have a beautiful and a family group. So I found the girls, I put the group together, and what else? And then the group is starting to doing like shows, and then we used to dance with Lisa Silva, and then it's starting to grow and grow and grow, and then have most of the girls was from Brazil, and then the ones who was not from Brazil, they would come to the group, they become like a Brazilian, they speak Portuguese, and they dance the samba, and then the group was formed. We did a lot of shows, and then we used to do Carnival, and then Aquarela was the main group, and then we had Umbrella. All of other groups would come and join us for Carnival. And we used to do our costume at home, in my living room, and the float was to be done at my door, at my house in Harper Street. And it was a big family. And Aquarela means like the watercolor also, and also we're supposed to be people from all the races, all the color, all the nation, all kind of people to represent the world.
Well, to me, it was coming home because even though I live here for 30 years already, I left my hometown. I always go back and visit families, and sometimes I go back to Brazil 3 times a year. And for sure enough, I go every February for Carnival there, and to bring staff to merge to the parade here and culturally do the exchange. And when I found Maria and I started dancing with them and with her group and under her direction, I saw that she was true to the culture. She was true to her vision that maintained the quality and the originality of the parade that is done in Brazil. And then to mimic here, the only way was able to do is stick to the roots, which is the music, the language, the style, how we do things as a family, everybody together.
My whole life, my mom speaks 6 languages, but she is obsessed with Portuguese. Portuguese is her favorite language. So as a child, I grew up around Brazilian music. And then I actually met my husband, who's Brazilian. He's from the same city as Silvana. I met him at the exact same time I started dancing with Aquarela. So I think the combination of being around the girls and the group, and then also dating someone from Brazil, for me, it just kind of all collided into something really effortless, I guess you could say.
Well, growing up, going to Buena Vista and the mission, I mean, kind of growing up in the mission, I like to say I grew up maybe a little culturally confused. I'm Irish. And I was like, well, I know about Cesar Chavez probably before I knew about George Washington, just the Buena Vista education. I'm a product of the Mission District, really. So I, spoke Spanish and was just around that culture and had danced salsa and other Latin dances, but, and I really liked all that stuff, but I was kind of like, oh, my body wants to do something more, but I'm not sure what it is. And then once I finally, I guess I had seen samba in Carnaval and just never really put it together. And then once I saw that and started taking Silvana's dance class, and I was like, oh, I want to do that.
I would say in all honesty, we start thinking about the parade the day of the parade.
Yeah.
Meaning like a year before. So the second the parade is over, when we eat and we're all together right after, still in costume, we're already thinking, okay, what are we doing next year? It's addicting. Yes. And some of us say, no, please don't talk about it. I can't think about it. And then you can't help it. You're like, no, we have to brainstorm. We have to start. So I would say that the planning process truly starts the day that the previous parade year, the same day.
First, we like them to be beautiful on a parade, and represent Brazil, represent Rio de Janeiro. And the other thing, because the people come to do the Carnival, they really, really, really dream about wear bikinis and feathers. That's their dream. It's like their dream come true when they go in the street and then show what they have. On top of, they have the feathers and this shiny bikini. They really love the costume. So we have to think about what we're gonna get together for them to wear so they can be very happy. Because you see people come to me and say, oh, my dream came true. And my dream was to be on a mission on my bikini with my feathers and dancing on the street.
As far as costume, every year we try to combine what we envision for the parade and design there. Some years we do open colors, which everybody choose your colors, and everything is talked about among us. Or we do group costumes, which everybody's wear the same color, the same design. As far as feathers, there's a variation, like you mentioned, of feathers. And some are a low scale price, and some really, really high scale price. The feathers basically is the complement of the costume. And then again, going back to the beginning, it is how it's done, the parades in Rio and Sao Paulo.
So I will say over the years, sometimes like the style in Brazil for Carnival kind of changes. And so each year we're kind of inspired by something else. So there will be years when we say, okay, let's do large hats. And we decide that us as the principal dancers, we're all going to have really large hats. And then there's other years where we say, okay, let's do a crown and wings. We try to mix it up, not only for Carnival, but also these are things that we use to perform throughout the year. So it's really important to get things that we'll use that sometimes it has a different purpose than something we already have.
Yeah, it's kind of a tradition. You're building on float. Since the beginning, we started doing Carnival, you build on float. Before we design the float, and then we think about, and then we all get together, and then we're all doing the float together in front of my house. The float sleeps here, and then the next day we take the float to the Mission District. So,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's a rewarding work in the sense that everything starts a talk. We have Marina, it's not present today, one of the queens. She's the one who usually lineups all the points that we need to cover.
It's not Aquarela.
And we do go over points that flatbed to rent, stuff to buy to build the float, time frame, how we're gonna schedule people to give up their time and come to our backyard here and start building the float. And then not only the dancers, everybody is hands-on, but their significant others also help build the float. And then we have other auxiliary people that also help us make the event happen, which is the sound system. We have a friend that brings the sound system. We need to rent the float. We need to rent the music. And then all those aspects, it becomes a big project, but everybody pinch in and work together for the day of. We still reorganizing in the morning, trying to put the last details so the parade can be a perfect parade.
And then as far as like the float and the logistics, it just becomes complicated, not only because we're all busy, but because to decorate a large truck like that, space-wise, it's not always easy. We don't have weeks before to start the actual work. So we plan as much as we can, and then the day before the parade, we all get together and we make it happen. We build everything, and our husbands and boyfriends come, and kids come, and it's a real family day. But at the same time, it's a full day, and tensions get high, and we're stressed out that we haven't finished something. You're thinking about the next morning, and then of course you think of all these great things you could do on a float, but then you have to think about, well, how are we actually going to do that? So I think that our goal over the past few years has kind of been simplicity, but still something visually interesting. And also we invest so much time, energy, and money into the costumes. A lot of times we allow that to kind of be a major highlight without overcrowding the space.
Teach for many years, many of the dance groups are around the Bay Area. A lot of those dancers came from my dance class. And what I look when I'm teaching or rehearsing or choreographing something, it's how the person will be sensible enough to perform the movement. They might not have the clear idea of, when they first started, of what the samba no pé, which is to the roots, grounded, and have your body take off in a speed of the music, and then you kind of quite don't understand. But if you do that, incorporate with the movement that goes through the routine, it shows how lively you can be. So under Maria's wings, Aquarela got to crown 5 queens and 3 kings of the San Francisco Carnaval.
Aquarela as a family. And then when people be more committed with the dancing with us, and be there all the time when we need it, and then participate in the rehearsal, and be committed with the group.
I was gonna say that, yeah, I think one of the things with Aquarela, besides being committed to the dancing aspect of it, is very much that it really is a family. So that's a big commitment. It's like the dancing is a big commitment, and then the Aquarela family is a big commitment, because it's like you go to birthdays, you go to Feijoada at Maria's house, you help her cut stuff, you do the thing. It's like a lot of family time. So if that doesn't work, and so if that doesn't work, that's just such a part of what
I like the shock on people's face when they see our costumes. When we are very risque in the costumes. That gives me excitement, because I like to shock people, bringing something shocking. That's to me.
I love when we as a group compliment each other. So if there's 7 of us and we're taking photos, I love if after each parade we can get one amazing group picture. That, to me, I love the parade. I'm not satisfied until I've seen the photos. And they all know, like, I'm scouring the internet, yeah. I'm on Facebook, and it doesn't do any good if 2 of us look great and the other ones don't. When I can grab a photo that everyone just looks so in their element, we compliment each other, that is my absolute favorite thing from the whole parade. And then
for me, the highlight of the parade of Carnaval isn't at the end. You look back and then you see all the people had participated the Carnaval with us, the contingent. They are tired, was long, but they are so happy.
Para você, Rodrigo, pela oportunidade da gente contar a nossa história. Thank you, Rodrigo, for the opportunity for us to tell our story. Aquarela family.